Hi, my name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. I asked that Aries energy, what this reading is going to be about. Apparently, the poop is en route to the fan, and you're going to need to duck and cover. So whatever circumstance has been brewing for those that have been resonating with my readings over the past, couple months, I guess, it's about to really, really get crazy. Okay. It's about to get really crazy. I don't know what the circumstance is. I think everyone's circumstance is slightly different, but whoever has been trying to subdue, manipulate, like emotionally manipulate, they're about to recognize they have no more control over you, and they're about to kind of just go a little bit crazy. So let me just start pulling some cards. I've noticed that, especially when it's an empath, narcissist type of connection, usually the narcissist will, once they recognize they have no more, like, whatever they had over you is diminished and they can't control you as effectively as they have been, they get real intense. Like their attempts to control and intimidate go through the roof. And that's usually because it's like their last ditch effort to continue controlling you. There's a card that's, hold on. And, if you just kind of stand strong and don't give in yet, eventually you'll recognize, they're not going to stop. This is who they are. Okay. If this is resonating with you, just know this is who they are. All right. It's not necessarily you. Yes, you do add to it, but this is their own issue. All right. So, but if you hold on just a little bit longer, you'll see that, okay, they are wilding out because they see they're losing control of me. They're losing their hold on me. And it's a really crappy situation to be in. Really, really crappy. I've never been, I don't think I've never had a romantic relationship right like that. So, I can't say that I fully understand, but it's horrible. It's horrible for anyone to have to deal with something like that. I'm almost done pulling cards, guys. All right. So let's see what's in store for the end of November. And these messages are not bound by time. Soul doesn't do linear time or Gregorian calendars. Soul don't care. Oh, I needed one more deck. Sorry, I thought that was the last deck. All right, the energy of this is already getting really intense. I feel myself like it's almost like the start of the symptoms of a panic attack. Are y'all okay? Like, seriously, are y'all okay? Whoever that is, I hope you're okay. It's intense. It, like, legit panic attack about to start. Oh my God, what is she gonna say? I'm so afraid. Don't be afraid. I could be wrong. This might not even apply to you. Don't be afraid. And if it does apply to you, then this is what I've realized about my life. Okay. I'm often told things in advance. It's either 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years that I'm told things in advance. It's always in sets of 3 for me personally. So what I've come to realize is when I'm told something, it typically is for one of 2 reasons. 88% at 707. For one of 2 reasons. Either one, to prepare. Okay. I need to know things in advance so I can prepare myself mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever it is to prepare. I have to be ready. Or number 2, because this is an event that is unnecessary for my growth. And so I have to look within myself, see how I'm co-creating the fruition of this event and change it, shift something within me to alter the trajectory of my personal path so that it just misses the mark. Okay, and that event doesn't have to take place. I still can learn the lesson, but I don't have to do it in a way where I have to be in the lesson. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So don't freak out. Besides, I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. Okay, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to freak out. All right, this is fine. Perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. So card number 20, softly, softly, the tender touch. You need to begin communicating. Aries, you're not going to get through this by just running away. All right. You're not going to get through this. You're going to complicate things by just running away. 88% at 708. If you just run away, you will make a huge, huge mess, because then whoever the aggressor is, they're going to see that as confirmation. They are strong. They are dominant. You are running scared. And so now is the time to crush your spirit. But instead, if you go ahead and you can still be scared. You can still be very nervous about communicating your needs. But if you just instead, look, what's going on between us is not right. I'm not going to participate in this anymore. No, you are not allowed to continue to try and connect with me or any of that, and really mean it, really truly mean it. Don't say anything you're not willing to back up. That's the key here. Do not say anything that is an empty threat. If you say you are not allowed in my space any longer, do not continue to contact me. You have to be willing to take the measures to enforce that, meaning legal or whatever. We're not really vigilante, but I'm just saying you have to be willing to do what's necessary to enforce that. And so you have to take a stand, though. You have to make it clear. I'm not running. I'm walking away. I'm not running scared. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of allowing myself to continue not recognizing my worth. And so I'm walking away. Things need to be said. They do. And you can say it in a text message. It doesn't have to be a phone call. It doesn't have to be in person, but something definitely needs to be said, or this is going to be a whole hot heaping ass mess. The cards, the way they're playing out, this is looking like holy shit. Okay, card number 23, Aquarius. I know. Pull in some of that Aquarius energy. Aquarius has this amazing, amazing way of knowing exactly what to say. With the emotion removed. I know some Aquarius might be like, but I can't do that kind of emotional shit. Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why it's perfect for this circumstance. You're removing the emotion. There's no finger pointing or blaming. It's simply, I'm taking ownership of my journey at this point. You are no longer going to be a part of that journey. I wish you well. Our paths have diverged. You go on yours, I go on mine, and we just call it a day. So you need to not have such an emotionally charged exchange with whoever this is. Because remember, softly, softly, the tender touch. So with this, 2023. Okay, with this, I totally, totally got I got like a kind of antagonistic message. If they're gonna be very childish, whoever it is that's being dealt with, if they're gonna be childish, maybe you need to use a rattle and distract them. Look over here, and then don't boop them. I would, but don't boop them. It's gonna make it worse. So the rattle, card number 43. I know that in certain shamanic practices, the rattle is used as like a percussive blow to call in the good and expel the bad. So the rattle is a spirit caller carrying the shaman's prayer to the four directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future. Closing with a prayer, Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. So really, this is not about punishing whoever this is. This is about understanding, I am now recognizing the good for all involved means no longer continuing this cycle. Okay? So it's not about punishment. It's not about withholding love. It's not a power play. This really isn't like, an empty ultimatum. If that's what you're going to do, you're going to really, really, really regret that. I promise you. If this is resonating with you, the way these cards are playing out, you're really going to seriously regret playing any kind of games where like you're going to show someone that don't do it. Don't do it. Show yourself that you don't need to participate in that kind of cycle. Okay. It's very childish in a social sense, as well as spiritually. You don't have to play games. Okay. Card number 1, adaptability. You do have to be very adaptable. And you do have to allow yourself to recognize how you've co-created circumstance and how you're going to remove yourself from that circumstance. For some of you, it requires your removal from the actual relationship. It could be work, it could be romance, it could be friendship, it could be family, it could be any of those things. But for some of you, it requires you actually being removed from that. Stay true and be in your power, Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. You have the utmost authority in your life. It's time you recognize this, okay? It's really time you recognize this. If you are not going to exist in an omnipotent way, you're the utmost authority. By definition, being a sovereign is being the utmost authority. There's nothing above you. It's recognition that you have a God fractal within you, and that should always be honored. The needs of that fractal should always be honored. Now, look at that. Wow. So that looks almost like a lotus that had blossomed and is losing its petals. Okay. Maybe it's time for you to recognize if you're feeling as though you're wilting, if you're feeling as though your petals are falling off and you're losing your power, you are an eternally blossoming lotus. For whatever petal is lost, there are 2 that takes its place. Okay? Those are the old pieces of you, the old parts of you that are no longer in alignment with your path. And so you should just let that go. You should definitely just let that go. You're not going to be destroyed just because you let the old parts of you go. If you're fearing that, then you have to recognize you are now identifying with the wounds that have been inflicted upon you. You are more than just the wound. You are the whole being that carries the wound. You are not the wound, okay? 2 of love in reverse. See, this is what's going on. It's a falling out of love, falling out of respect. It's just a lot of uncommunicated, miscommunicated, unheard, ignored needs. It's Ooh, 81% at 717. 33 and 6. 88866. That's just intense. That's intense. So the meaning of this card is all about love, harmony, closeness, attraction, and partnership on every level. With it in reverse, it's about envy, greed, lust, opposition, disharmony, quarrel, conflict, infidelity, and divorce. A separation is definitely occurring. The two of you are just not refilling and replenishing each other. It's just not, it's not a healthy thing. If this is resonating with you, and it's not going to resonate with every Aries out there, you have to cut your losses where they are, you know? Some of us have a hard time with letting go because it's like, oh, but you know, I have to be loyal. But loyal to who? Loyal to who? You know, your loyalty should be to yourself first before anyone else. It's not someone else's job or obligation to make you happy, to make sure you're provided a life that's satisfying and fulfilling. That's your job. And if it's not being satisfied or fulfilled where you're at, then you need to go somewhere else. All right? You have to go somewhere else. You have to choose yourself, because it's just not going to work out if you're constantly trying to get yourself to force yourself to do things that are not in alignment with you or your growth at this point. Okay. And again, this is not going to resonate for every single Aries, but for the ones this resonates with, stand tall. Stand tall. It's time for you to, oh no, this is the wrong. This the second one. It's time for you to stand tall and just begin dancing in the light of your own truth. Card number 5, follow your own rhythm. Now is a time for you to really just let your hair down and dance with yourself. All right? It's not a time for you to worry about other people, because you've been doing that far too much already, and it hasn't served you at all. It's just complicated the matter. Also, there's this message, Aries. It's okay for you to turn to your darkness, but don't forget about the light as well. Okay, it's a very strong feeling that I'm being given, where because of the circumstance and the gravity of it for some of you, you're forgetting about recognizing that there is light within your world still. It's not just all darkness. You're being allowed to experience very dark periods to help you gain further clarity, gravity, and appreciation for the light that is within your life. Okay. Also, one final thing on that, you have your own light. Stop looking outside of yourself. If you're afraid of the dark, let your light flare. All right, let it flare, and remember that you are light. It's a card number 39, air element, communicating. I'm telling you guys, you have to communicate this. You can't just dip out. You can't just disappear, because this is not going to end well. It's going to blow up in your face real badly. And anyone else that you involve in this, whatever this is, anyone else you involve in it, oh, not going to be good. Is not. Card number 37, the moon. You're going through these phases, right? Moon energy is dark energy, shadow, yin, negative, feminine. It's not evil. I want to make that clear. It's not evil, but it is a very intense, very potent, creative energy. What you do in the shadow of the moon eventually comes to light. All right? It eventually comes to light. Don't try and plan things that is not in the greatest good of all. Have courage. What? So there is also a secondary layer of message that's this is your cycle. For some, this is not for all, okay? 77% at 722. 38 and 8. Lots of mirroring. Lots of mirroring. Shit. This is your cycle. You go through these phases where it's like, oh, I love them so much, and then it continues, and you get depleted, and then you're like, almost there's nothing left. There's nothing left to salvage, and then you go back to full. And if you want to end this cycle, stop. Figure out what you really want. Figure out what you really want. And this is not an easy thing. I don't want whoever this is resonating with to be like, I'm so weak. She makes it sound so weak. No, it's not easy. This is a hard thing. This is a major part of your journey. Really taking the time to figure out what it is you want, focusing on you. What are your needs? How are you going to achieve those needs? And then communicating them. Aries, y'all suck at communication. I'm sorry, that it's the truth. Y'all really suck at communication. It's one of those things, if you recognize this about yourself, you can then begin taking the steps to work on it and improve it for your benefit, not to, be worthy of me and my graces, because who the fuck am I anyways? I'm not nothing, you guys. If you want to have a really satisfying life where your needs are being met, where you're feeling very understood and appreciated, which Aries struggles with, you have to begin vocalizing. You have to begin co-creating that which you actually want. All right? You have to. So, gosh, this is intense. Eye of Horus, awakening divine perception. Wasn't Horus the one that got his eye took? Oh, yo, Aries, don't let someone snatch your eye in order for you to recognize you have eyes to see what's actually going on. Don't blind yourself. Don't allow someone or circumstance to blind you. Let's see what else this card has to say, because I don't want to leave it as just getting your eye snatched. The Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. So this is about allowing yourself to truly see through to the core of what's going on. Are you running away from a difficult interaction because you're afraid of the growth that it's bringing? Or is this something that is truly abusive and needs to be done, and you're just recognizing now this is not going to improve, it's just going to continue to get worse? There are things that are going on that are definitely not okay, and everyone's answer is going to be different. So you have to really figure out for yourself. Okay, figure out for yourself and decide what you need for your life. This reading is simply to give you confirmation of the things that you're already, the information, the guidance that you're already receiving from your higher self. And if you're not receiving that guidance, I beg to differ. Our higher selves are always trying to find ways to deliver us messages, always. It's just a matter of us being able and willing to see and hear what's actually being said. Now, gosh. Oh, Lordy Lord. Okay. What is this card? There's so many messages to this card, so many layers. All right, here you go. Card number 20, the Last Judgment. So I will go to the book to see what the card means, but this is really intense. All right, Aries, that's you. That's you trying to, rise up to a higher way of being, ready to defend yourself. But then I look at this and I'm like, all right, so either there are those who exist in a lacking mindset and they're trying to keep you from rising up, or this is gonna be harsh. This is gonna be harsh. This is a rough and raw ClairTarot, right? So I'm gonna just deliver it how I saw it and heard it. Aries, that's you thinking you're rising up, but in reality, you're inviting new fuckery into your home. What? I'm sorry, what? Who are you aligning with to facilitate your extraction from the old group that was, abusing? Are you now forming a new group that's going to drain you? Are you once again repeating the cycles, co-creating those cycles? Have you snatched your own damn eye out because you don't want to be alone? You know what I mean? Like, and this answer is going to be different for everyone, but it's really, is he like shooing them away, or is he telling them, come on in? Come on in. Why are they naked? They don't feel like they're naked in their truth. They feel like they're trying really hard to get more. So, yeah. And if you think there are going to be people who are going to witness this and like speak up and speak out, I don't think so. It's a really sickening feeling in my belly, but it feels like the people who are watching are just going to watch. They're just watching. They're watching a train wreck and they can't avert their eyes, nor do they want to. Nosy ass motherfuckers. Seriously. Oh, look at their faces. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So definitely observe your environment. What are you? Oh, 72% at 729. 7 plus 2 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then 9. 9, 9, 9. So what is going on? Aries, are you about to start this same sort of cycle again with a new circle? If that's the case, just stay in what you're at, because you already know what this is. You know what I'm saying? If you're just going to repeat the damn lesson with a new group, what's the point in that? You're starting all over again. You might as well finish off the lesson you're in. Finish it off. Finish it off there where you're at. Stop dicking yourself around. Plain and simple. Stop dicking yourself around. If you're just letting more bullshit into your sacred temple, yeah, don't just, I don't know. Do whatever you feel is right. Just do whatever you feel is right. I'm just gonna be right here in my office. I'm gonna be making some swords and just minding myself. Oh, let me just drink some coffee. Y'all don't need me chiming in. Capricorn and me, quiet down, simmer down. Simmer, this ain't your sign. This is none of your business. Stay in your lane. Love, Pisces. We're trying to help. Card number 25. Ooh, release a dark wound. Let love live. Release your need to continue these patterns. If you release that need, you'll be able to finally truly heal from what you are suffering through. This is unnecessary suffering. If you're just going to continue to repeat the cycles over and over and over and over, that's unnecessary. The suffering associated with that is unnecessary. That's something that you're choosing. You're choosing it in that you are not listening to your higher self, guiding you away from it. Okay? So card number 15, Gemini, I think. Ooh, it's about communication again. Geminis, they can't shut the fuck up for the life of them. I'm joking. My man is a Gemini too. He can't shut the fuck up for the life. No, I'm kidding. Geminis are my favorite. So this is about really allowing yourself to embrace your duality. What's the Geminis? They're said to be a twin, right? So you have the angel and the devil on your shoulder, angel, devil, whatever, shadow and light on your shoulder. It's about allowing yourself to communicate with all your fractals and then moving forward as a whole being. All right. It's about moving forward as a whole being. Gemini is said to be the genius of the zodiac. I mean, tap into that genius, figure out how to communicate. All right. And be careful of what words you use, the way you express what you need to express. The whole phrase, what you say can and will be used against you. That rings very loudly in my ear. What you say can and will be used against you, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist. And for whoever this resonates with, it really feels like this is a narcissist type of, and I'm not just, see, especially in the spiritual communities, spiritual circles, the term narcissist is just thrown around like, so like, oh, narcissist. Oh, I don't agree with you. Oh, you're a narcissist. You don't like, oh, you're a narcissist. No, every single last one of us has narcissistic tendencies. Okay, varying degrees, varying levels of narcissistic tendencies. What I'm talking about right now is legit clinically, you are categorically yeah, no, I'm talking about real serious mental, emotional issue type of narcissist. One where you take a test and like, oh, you scored 100. You're a narcissist. You know, this is not like the thrown around word. This is, you're dealing with someone not of stable mind. Like legit, this is not, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why. I'll show you why, okay? So there's many paths. All of them lead you back to yourself. Pick a path, walk down it. You're never going to get anywhere if you stand there the whole time thinking, but there's so many paths. Yes, they all lead to the same place, back to you. Pick a path and start walking. It doesn't matter what path, just start walking. So, beauty. Don't allow this, whatever you're going through, if you're resonating with this, don't allow it to ruin your ability to see the beauty in your life. This is just one component in your life. And the only constant in life, in creation, is change. So no matter what's going on right now, it is going to change. 69% at 734. 69 are the upper and lower reflection. This is about the God energy, allowing the self, which is the 6, to receive. Now, it was 734, so 7, right? Reflections. This is completion of this. Now, High Priestess, mysteries revealed in the eyes. When you look in their eyes, do you see a human soul? When they're really mad, the eyes look different, don't they? If this resonates with you, and the person that this is describing, when they get very angry, even if they haven't begun screaming yet, their eyes look different, don't they? Whoever they are has checked out, something else has checked in. You know this. If this is really resonating to your core, you know this. You've seen this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The face is different. The voice, something in the quality of the voice is different. The way the words are chosen, the way they're delivered, the intensity of the energy is different because you're no longer dealing with that person. Okay? They like Hotel California. They let in all kind of stuff. And none of those guests have left. You're dealing with something else. So you have to really make sure, really make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into as you decide what you want to do about this, okay? You can't just take off. You can't, because it will follow you. Remember? It will follow you. Now, here you go. 5 of Swords. That's you having taken off. You're now isolated and alone, afraid. The house is burning. What the? Whoa. Okay. That's pretty intense. So everything's in shambles, right? Yet you still have a sword dangling over you. Because again, you can see in the eyes that this is not a regular human experience. There are other things that are involved, and it's going to follow you. If you don't take care of this head on, it's going to follow you. You're going to forever feel like you have to run. Run from yourself, run from your life. So misfortune is often seen as a hallmark of this card. The credent finds himself in a changed landscape, which may represent the lowest ebb of the tide or perhaps the darkest moment on the journey. Whatever the issue you're concerned with, the indication is that there will be aspects of misfortune and sadness involved. Sometimes this card is indicative of the ending of a relationship that's been destructive, even though this was not recognized, although the rest of the reading mitigates the grimmer aspects of the situation. The sense of pain can become a means towards freedom and a new beginning. So this is about defeat, slander, cowardice, ill-timed decisions, regret for things gone wrong, pain, ruin, sadness. Do you hear that? Ill-timed decisions. You have to make sure you're not deciding from a place of fear. All right? It's not wrong or bad to feel fear. Admitting to yourself that you're afraid is part of the process of reclaiming your courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery and courage are what results when you negate the fear with a need to continue forward. Like you just push through, okay? So I'm going to get you guys one more card. Let's do Kiki. She always has some sage words of advice. Oh, jeez. All right. So I was going to put these cards back in the deck, and I pulled out the deck, and then Michael says, put the deck down because you need to do one final card. And I said, okay, so I put the deck down. And he says, take a look at the progression. So this is the progression, right? So, excuse me. You're right there. You're failing to realize this is following you. It's still haunting you. And now you're realizing, and so the sword is in front of you. 10 of Swords. You went from 5 of Swords to 10 of Swords. An intensification. It's intensifying. Is intensification a word? Don't mind me. I'm just making up my own vernacular at this point. And let's see what 10 of Swords has to do. So 10 of Swords. Was this in reverse? Desolation, misfortune, life and death situations, the confrontation of karmic debts, need for daring and determination. So for those who are resonating with this might actually be the finishing off of a karmic cycle with an individual. Something from previous life that has kept, see, and this is the next card, that has kept the two of you bound together. So just kind of allow yourself to recognize this is going to continue to follow you until you face it head on. Okay. And when you face it head on, there might come a point where you recognize the two of you were kind of bound together simply because a karmic debt needed to finish being played out, some sort of karmic cycle between the two of you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a punishment. It's not to say that one of you abused the other and now it's payback. Sometimes, you know, souls are actually best friends, and you agree before coming into this life to go ahead and have these interactions with each other so that you could learn something. And they're like, oh, sure, I got you, girlfriend. I got you, girlfriend. I'll help you learn that. Yeah, in a really fucked up way. But that doesn't diminish the amount of love that goes on between the two of you. All right. I don't want you to feel like you're cursed and that you're going to deal with this for the rest of your life. No, you're going to deal with it for as long as it takes for you to learn whatever this karmic lesson is. That's why I say don't bother moving forward with someone else thinking you're just going to leave that individual behind if you haven't actually learned what is he cooking? I smell something so delicious. Let me get you guys a final card. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go eat. All right, let's get you guys a final card. Ooh, girl, she got her nipple covers on. I'm so glad I stopped myself from I was gonna do the nipple cover dance. Don't do that, girl. That's why you get all kind of crazy ass messages. You just regulate what you say. Regulate. I'm sorry. Here you go. Nectar of the Lotus. Look at her. Excuse you, Kiki. Looking so bougie. Okay. The Divine Mother wishes that those who are meant to feed others will be fed too. Your devotion to helping others has the effect of squeezing the cosmic heart chakra of the Divine Mother. From her heart drips nectar, sweet, sustaining, life-affirming energy that feeds you and allows you to nourish many souls. Like a sacred chalice that overflows, when you are full, well, and vital, the feeding of others happens effortlessly. You're guided to be fed now, fed with divine nectar from the heart of the Mother. So do you now see why this is so far beyond just you? This is way beyond being just about you and your life. Sometimes we experience things to help us prepare for what our soul purpose is. And it's usually the ones who are most heavily wounded that end up learning how to heal in the most compassionate and loving way, how to help others heal in the most compassionate and loving way. So just kind of take this in. I definitely don't feel Aries is being punished. I definitely don't feel that this is all unnecessary and life just sucks. I definitely feel that Aries, you've been allowing certain types of circumstance to be created. And in your allowing of it, you're co-creating it. 61% at 744, 7744. Okay. It's you're allowing yourself to receive this. You're allowing yourself right now to receive this message, this acknowledgement that you co-created. Okay. This is not about blame. This is about recognition that you had the power to co-create this. You also have the power to co-create a different type of circumstance, one that's more in alignment with what you want and need in order to feel fulfilled. So I hope this helps give clarity to whoever was needing it. And if we're going to be totally honest, I hope no Aries or anyone at all resonates with this, because this is a really fucked up circumstance. It is. That's my personal assessment. This is a fucked up circumstance. It's going to be a difficult one to get out of. One that's definitely going to challenge you, but it's usually when we experience resistance, challenge, that backward movement that really helps us to launch forward. So hang in there. Change is the only constant in life. This circumstance is not going to be allowed to stay forever unless that's what you choose. Unless you choose to perpetuate this, it's not going to continue. Okay? Just let that really sink in. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. It's going to be probably the most difficult thing you've ever experienced in your life. If this resonates with you, getting yourself out of this cycle is probably going to be the most difficult thing you have ever experienced in your life, but it's not impossible. It's not. Think of this as you've been on a treadmill for hours on end, hours nonstop running. Your legs are so tired, they feel like jello. And now you're being asked to do squats. maxing out whatever your weight you can squat. We're going to max it out, and you're going to have to do how many reps of that. Yeah. It's going to be that challenging, but it's not impossible. And remember, it's in that muscle failure that you raise the potentiality of growth. All right. So this is your soul maximizing the potentiality of your growth. And failure is not a negative. It's not. It's simply a step, that step right before you level up. So if you got to fail at this one more time, go ahead, level yourself up, use it as a step. All right. But you're going to get out of this when you're ready, and no one gets to rush you. So if you guys give this video a thumbs up, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell, join me every single time I'm live. Bye guys. Hope you join me in a few minutes. I'm going to be doing Leo next. Leo. All right. Bye guys.